In a room where emotions run deep, 6 people are bound by a love of movie trivia.
If you're a lover of movies, then you likely know about this game. And if you don't, you've been missing out.
Seen It is your ticket to non-stop fun.
Back in the 90s, Dave Long, the founder of the Seen It games, put together a game for some guests at a Halloween party that involved playing some VHS tapes on the TV, and they guessed the movie as quickly as possible. He later turned that game into the trivia board game with the disc known as Seen It.
Lights, camera, interaction.
It was released under Screen Life Games, the parent company being Paramount Digital Entertainment. Seen It officially ran for about 10 years straight, from 2002 to 2012, with nearly 40 games being made in total.
That's a lot. No, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Oh, that's a lot.
Seen It caught people's interest with the many different themes you could pick from for this interactive board game with the disc. They had a Disney Seen It, Twilight, Harry Potter, Nickelodeon, Seinfeld, Friends, sports, music, Marvel Comics, The Simpsons, and HBO, not to be confused with Max. Glee was the very last of the series, even though they planned to make like a Star Wars one and a movie night edition, but those were cancelled.
The show is over. The aliens are canceling Earth.
It would be another 10 years before it was brought back from the dead in 2022 by Imagination Games and GameStar Plus. This is the very first Seen It game to not come with the disc. It is digital, yet you still gotta buy the board game in order to get the QR code to play. This version of the game has the largest library of films, with over 550 clips from films included. I can't find any info that confirms it, but I assume that this version of Seen It will update once or twice a year in order to add more to the roster as more movies come out. And one last thing to close out this section, the game is only available to purchase at Target, either in-store or online. It's considered a Target exclusive.
Exclusive to Target.
Before you start the game, select the DVD Master, otherwise known as the person with the remote. The game comes with a board, 2 dice, buzz cards, trivia cards, 4 player pieces, and the disc. It is usually 2 to 4 players, but honestly you can add more to it by adding a couple extra pieces onto the board. The board game police won't give you any trouble.
Take it away.
Or if you don't want to use the board at all and just want to have fun with the interactive part of the game and do the trivia, you can do that too, tallying up whoever gets the most questions right. If you want to play a more challenging round, then when you roll the die, only move forward if you get the question right first. Because normally whenever you roll the die, you move your player first and then you start the question, but if you want to make it more challenging, only move forward if you get the question right first. If you don't have the time to play a full game, the board folds up in a way that you can play a pretty quick round instead. Hey Monopoly, take notes.
Uh-oh, you've got to play the game.
One die moves your piece across the board, while the other die chooses what type of trivia you'll be faced with for your turn. Answering the questions correctly means that you can take another turn and roll again. When you get a question wrong, then it's the next player's turn. The options on the category die contain 2 DVD challenges, 3 trivia challenges, buzz cards, and player's choice. If you land on My Play, then you select it on the screen and the player answers the question. 99% of the time, it will play a movie clip and ask a question at the end.
Do not try it.
The All Play category contains a random assortment of games like visual puzzles, cutouts, sound clips,
So I figured, while I'm here, I'll lose a few pounds. A lean, mean fighting machine.
spot the difference, invisibles, pictograms, Spellbinders, Jigsaw puzzles, distorted images, and some editions have other games as well. When a player lands on all play, every player participates with the question, and the first to shout out the answer wins the round, and if they were not the roller, they can either move forward one space or force the player who rolled that turn to draw a buzz card. And one more additional feature that makes this more awesome is that every time the disc is inserted into a device, it will shuffle its game so that there's less chance of repetition. Now for the trivia cards. There is the Take 3 challenge, where the player must identify an actor, actress, or whichever theme the edition has from the clues on the card. The second one is Songs, Slogans, and Catchphrases, where the player answers a question involving these selections. And the last one is the Pop Culture challenge, where the player answers a question regarding pop culture. The buzz cards are basically player movement on the board, where if you draw it, you'll either move forward or backwards. Some buzz cards can move other players instead of the roller. And the final category on the die is the player's choice, which is self-explanatory. I own 5 of the Scenic games, and used to play it with my family back in the day, and it was always a blast. The only downside is that once you play the game often enough, you'll start to see some repeats of questions that you've answered before. But even with that, as far as I can tell, Scene It is the best movie trivia game out there. It isn't just a simple guess where the quote is from, or which movies did the director direct and whatnot. It mixes a variety of stuff to make it more fun. When I found out recently that Scene It has finally returned and made a new game, I thought for sure that they would have made it an online streaming compatible type of game, but it isn't. Not really. It does not come with the disc, but you can access it online at the GameStar Plus website, but it's intended to still be played within one home. Which baffles me, because this game was made in 2022, which is like quite a while after COVID, where by now, online gaming and streaming and stuff is more common than ever. I'm in a corner of YouTube where pop culture, movies, and gaming are a constant thing, yet I have not heard anybody mention the newest Scene It game, or pretty much any of the Scene It games, really, but people would be talking about this if they could. Like, just think how much attention this could get if some YouTubers or people on Twitch were to stream it with their friends. I'm fine with them needing people that want to play it to buy a copy in order to play, but there should be an option to add people to an online room to play together, like with Cards Against Humanity, Gartic Phone, or Among Us, or something like that, where you can add people to a room and you can play together. I understand that the studios and copyright holders of the clips that are in the Scene It games might throw a fit, but Scene It only has, like, at most 3 minutes of a scene from a movie at a time, sometimes just playing 10 seconds of a clip from a movie, and the people that are playing it can easily make the content transformative. That happened with me a few times, where I sought a movie out after playing Scene It because I had not seen it before. With all my gripes aside for what Scene It could be, the latest version is at most a mixed bag for a lot of people so far. Like, sometimes it's spotty or skips around, which can affect answering the questions. Sometimes I tried it myself even, and it would play the whole clip or do the whole thing, but it would skip the answer. It would just skip right next to the title screen again. But I did try the game out for myself for a little while, and it worked effectively for like 97% of the time. There's just a few times it would glitch around and have a little bit of issues, but it was mostly playable. So my suggestion for people that might be interested in getting this version of the game would be to maybe wait another year or so to see if they can make any updates or make any improvements of the quality, because I want to recommend it, but it's kind of like when a new game is released and sometimes they have a few patches they need to do. Wait a little bit longer, and then I think it might be more worth your time. That wraps up everything that I've got to say about the Scene It games. Let me know your thoughts on Scene It, and have a great rest of your day.